Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fantasy Update. Kevin Walsh here. Now, today I'm going to be talking about something a little different called MFL10s. For those who don't know, it's a different type of draft format brought to you by MyFantasyLeague.com, and it's really awesome. 12-team PPR. It's a slow draft, meaning you have 8 hours per pick. Don't worry though, if people go on auto pick twice in a row, then they're done for the draft. So it's not like you're going to be waiting around. And people are pretty good with these things, and also gives you a lot of time to figure out who you want, because as you get later into the rounds, it becomes tough. 20 rounds, no kickers, which is the way to go. And these things are really fun. I'm doing my first one right now. I'm in the middle of it. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the feel for everything. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about the strategy that you can bring into these drafts, and also what some of the bigger injuries that have happened and how they are affecting drafts, and what to keep an eye out for. The first thing I will talk about, though, are the two biggest injuries, Kelvin Benjamin and Jordy Nelson. The two of them have both gone down for season-ending injuries, and it has changed drafts drastically. It's really a big change here. Now, Jordy Nelson was on the cusp of maybe being in the first round, but he was a clear second-round pick. Everyone loved him this year, especially PPR. Always a big play threat in the touchdown game. Was Rodgers' favorite target. He's now out. Now, this changes things a lot. One, Randall Cobb. People could make a case that Randall Cobb may be the best receiver next year. His targets are going to go way up. Rodgers trusts him big time in the red zone, so the touchdowns are always going to be there. And with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, and that's his number one, Randall Cobb is going to move up draft boards. There was a slight chance you could maybe get him in the third. He was consistently going in the second. I could easily see him start to going early round one, potentially within the top 10. I really do think that Randall Cobb's value is worth that. And if you don't like anyone else on the board, Randall Cobb is going to be a very, very good pick for your team. On this other side of things, Aaron Rodgers, normally the number 2 quarterback to go behind Luck, who does go pretty highly in drafts, especially quarterback-wise. Rodgers, I still trust. He's still the best quarterback in NFL right now, and if you really want him, go get him. He's phenomenal. He last year was 14th in the league in attempts and was the best quarterback. He doesn't do this by volume. He doesn't rely on these big-name receivers. He makes people better because he is just that good. So if you like Rodgers, don't worry, still go get him. Now, there are 2 more guys still affected by just this one injury. Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy, some people thought was a number 1 overall pick, the number 1 overall running back, everything. People loved Eddie Lacy this year, and that's only going to increase because they're going to hand the ball off now a little bit more to Eddie Lacy. Not drastically, but enough now to where I can see people saying that Eddie Lacy is a clear-cut number 1 pick this year. And I understand that. He'll be more effective in the passing game. He's going to get more carries. Eddie Lacy this year, number 1 overall player. I'm in on that. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Finally, the name who got a lot of hype coming into the season, was being drafted because people love the potential, is now going to skyrocket up draft boards, and that's Davante Adams. Normally you could get him in the later parts of it, probably around 10 to 12 range of things, maybe even a little bit later. Just look for Davante Adams to start right away, grab him in the 5th round, but he's going to jump way up. I can see Davante Adams being within the round 3 to round 5 range. He's Rodgers' number 2 guy, and last year Randall Cobb was that, and Randall Cobb finished as a wide receiver 1. So that's what people are going to think that they can get from Davante Adams, and that is possible because Aaron Rodgers is simply that good. And if you want Davante Adams, if you want a piece of that, you're going to have to pay up for him. And I can't really blame you. Again, anyone who has the ball being thrown to them by Aaron Rodgers, I like their odds. I like their chances. And not every ball is going to go to Randall Cobb. They're not only going to hand it off to Eddie Lacy. So look for Davante Adams to move up. You want him, go get him, but it's going to cost you an early price tag. Now, on the other side of things, Kelvin Benjamin injuries brings much less positives. He was looked at really as a wide receiver 2, round 3 type of pick. It's tough now. He was top 5 in targets last year. He's no longer there for Cam Newton. It kind of brings Cam Newton down a little bit. No one's really safe in picking Devin Funchess. Jonathan Stewart, the injury concerns, there is one player who I really feel now needs to be owned, because without Kelvin Benjamin, the ball's going to be ran a lot more. Jonathan Stewart yet has not played a full season the past 2 seasons, very injury prone. And if he's going to be getting more touches, he will go down. It's unfortunate to say, Cameron Artis-Payne needs to be drafted. You need to have him on your team. Normally going past round 15, jump up, don't take the risk, grab him in round 12. He's going to be worth it. He will be worth it. Cameron Artis-Payne is going to benefit greatly from this Kelvin Benjamin injury. So the two big names that are going to really benefit from these big injuries are going to be Devontae Adams and Cameron Artis-Payne. Keep them on your radar. Don't be afraid to jump and grab them. They're going to help you win. Now, the last thing I do want to say is just a strategy when coming into this league. Really, the first two rounds are pretty similar. So PPR, obviously, receivers will go earlier than what they would in your standard drafts if you're still drafting in a standard format. But running backs go heavy. In mine, first 5 picks, all running backs. Le'Veon Bell was 1, and then Dez went 6th. We saw Antonio go 8, and at 9, I grabbed Julio Jones. There are two positions that in most drafts people do wait on, but in this draft particularly, you see people wait a very long time to grab these specific positions. Tight end and quarterback. Now, Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck both went. Andrew Luck went in round 2, and Aaron Rodgers went in round 3. After that, the next quarterback was taken in the 6th round, and it was Russell Wilson. And then a little quarterback strength off of Peyton, Breeze, and things like that. Now, Luck and Rodgers are the best quarterbacks fantasy-wise, I believe, in NFL. Regardless, they're going to give you the most points. But the gap between Rodgers and Luck and someone like Peyton Manning or Drew Brees or Ben Roethlisberger is not going to be anywhere near as significant as a wide receiver or running back that you take in round 2 compared to a wide receiver or running back that you take in round 3. Nothing against either player. They're just not worth it. There's way too much elite talent on the board that people are going to pass up on to get them. They're just not worth it. I love being able to grab a Peyton Manning or in round 6, Ben Roethlisberger in round 7. You can do that and it'll work for you. And even more people love, because in this type of league, it's best ball format. There are no roster moves, so you have to get multiple quarterbacks. You can do a duo or trios. I've spoken to experts, and they love the pairing guys together who are on that cusp of quarterback 1 ranges, a Teddy Bridgewater, a Phillip Rivers, and maybe even throw in a Sam Bradford who has high upside being in the Eagles offense. You pair them 3 together, and things could really go well for you, and you're taking them all in later rounds. Past round 10, you're getting extreme value on those guys, and you're going to have more elite skill players for your team. Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, I really strongly advise don't draft them in MFL10s or MFL25s or whatever one that you're going to be doing. The other position is tight end. In round 1, Gronk goes, and that's how it's going to be. I personally don't like the pick. I'm nervous about drafting Gronk this year. I'm down on Gronk. I just really am not loving the pick, especially in round 1. I really struggle. You see in this one, Gronk went at the 10th pick, and people that fall behind him, C.J. Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, Odell Beckham. So the value to me, I don't think is that great. The next tight end is Jimmy Graham. Now, he goes round 3. If you can get him a little bit later in round 3, there's some good value there. But still, I can see waiting on other tight ends. The next tight end wasn't until round 5, and that's Travis Kelce. So there's a lot of waiting there. I mean, the tight end position isn't stellar, which kind of leads you to believe that waiting, grabbing 2 guys, maybe a combination of something like Zach Ertz, a lot of upside, and maybe something a little bit safer like Jason Witten. You pair that together, you ride that out as your 2 tight ends, and you're going to have better skill players, more consistent players that you can rely on a week-to-week basis than having to say to yourself, oh, great, I do have Jimmy Graham, but my wide receiver, you have to start 3 wide receivers, your wide receiver 3 is just not all that appealing. You'd rather have a really solid core of wide receivers as your first 3 wide receivers. You want a nice first 2 running backs. And at tight end, it's okay. Best ball format if they're switching around and flip-flopping. If in quarterback, they're switching around and flip-flopping. Those are positions that you can definitely wait on when drafting an MFL 10s. That's all the time we have for today. This has been the Fantasy Update. I've been Kevin Walsh. We'll see you guys next time.